Ali here at mindwavemeditation.com, and in this video we're going to discover how to be your own cheerleader. In this day and age, there's so much going on. Everybody is really only doing what they're doing for themselves. Don't let them tell you that they're doing it for you. They're not. Everybody is in this for themselves, and rightly so. It could be deemed selfish. Is selfish necessarily a bad word? We're all trying to create something, we're all trying to do something, we're all trying to be the best versions of ourselves, and while we do that, we like to encourage others and we like to help others, but ultimately speaking, you are the only person that is going to help you through what you need to get through, whether it's something you're creating or just getting through life. It's time to be your own cheerleader. In this video, we're going to discover how. Okay, so we're born into this world. We're alive right here, right now. You are never going to be as young as you are right now. Let that one sink in. Oh, it's a stinger, but it's true, and it should really help you in a positive way. When you think about that, you are never as young as you are right now. That could be really depressing if you allow it to be, but don't. Think about it as a total positive. You are here. You have one life. Apart from reincarnation, but that's another story. One life to live. And life can be really, really difficult. And it can be really, really, really challenging. And we all have our own stories. We've all got our own obstacles. We've all been through so much. And it's all relative as well. Even if you haven't been through so much, you've been through some stuff. And if you have been through a lot, well, then you know what I'm talking about. And what we ultimately really have to do when it comes down to it is find inner strength. Find inner strength no matter what to just keep cracking on, regardless. We get so close to breaking through to something, and then something changes and we have to adapt and pivot and move and shift and change and constantly evolve and keep up with all the lingo and all the technology. And oh my God, my friend sends me messages and she says, IDK, and every single time without fail I have to go IDK. I don't know. BRB, all of the stuff, I get lost all the time with all this stuff, and it's constant. We're changing our phones, we're adapting. Your computer doesn't last for more than 6 months before a new plug happens. My phone has an input which my old headphones don't work. It's relentless. It's relentless. We live in an absolutely ridiculously crazy time. So amongst the chaos of life, we can find our purpose, we can find our truth, and we can get on the path to conquering our dreams and living our best life and finding absolute happiness and peace within, no matter if you have kids running around or if you're in a job that you don't necessarily love, or whether you're in the right place and on your journey and everything's going great, or things aren't exactly how you want them to be. Amongst all of that, you can find a deep inner sense of peace. And you can do that by doing a number of things. I like to do yoga and meditate and chant and write out my goals daily, and write out affirmations, look at affirmations, repeat affirmations. There's a number of things. And to some people that might sound overwhelming in itself, but when you start to appreciate the benefits of doing all these things, repeating all these things and practicing all these things and leaning into meditation and healthy living and all these kind of things, you start to feel more alive, more in tune with who you are, happier, always a bonus. And if you get knocked off course and you just feel a bit bummed out or a bit flat, you can get back up here a lot quicker. And it's just a fact, when you dive into healthy living, healthy thinking, positive thinking, anything that's good for your body and your mind, you just feel better at your deepest core. So once you have all that in place, the next thing we want to do is do something with our lives. With this is self-realization. We know we're here, we know we're alive, we know we've got to do something. Let's try and do something that we really love. And once we've found that thing, then life changes. And it becomes ultimately a trip riding down a river. You're not necessarily in control of where the river's going, but if you get on that boat and you're in for the ride, you can just allow yourself to go down the river, and it takes you where you need to go. And I know all that might sound a little bit vague, and if it is, then click the link below, get Dare to Discover, and find who you are, find your journey, find your truth. By doing that mini course, it will blow your mind. It will set you up for the rest of your life. You can do it every single year, every 6 months. You can revisit it, review it whenever you want, and connect to what you're here to do. And once you've got that, well, then we can move on to the next part of the video. All right, so we're here. We've got our purpose. We've got our vision. Now it's time to do something. And maybe you're already doing something. So I'm speaking to you if you're trying to quit something, if you're trying to create something out of the ordinary, if you're making a big change, even making a small change, or if you're creating a business or creating anything physical or just doing something, this video is for you. And what we find is when we do something that's of some kind of magnitude or makes us step outside of the norm, we can find that we get a bit of backlash. And sometimes we don't get any backlash, we don't get anything. Not that we're being ignored, but we come to realize that we are on a solo mission here. Let's say you're quitting smoking and you're friends with 5 smokers. If you decide to quit, those 5 smokers are most likely not going to be the people who are going to try and encourage you to quit smoking. And we've got to look at this like for what it is. When you step outside of the norm and you try and create something or do something that's bigger than what you've done before, or bigger than what your environment is providing for you, then you do get some form of backlash, or you might get ignored, or maybe someone will try and pull you back down to their level. And we've got to be aware of this. Now, the good news is when you get this backlash or this response, you know you're on the right track. Because if we create anything and nobody says a word, then we might need to create something a bit better. We want some kind of a response, and both positive and negative is actually really good because you're making people have an opinion about what you're doing. So friends and family, as awesome as they are and as lovely as they are not always the best people to help you on your journey. If they are in your life, then fantastic, absolutely amazing. But generally speaking, I found over and over and over and over and over and over and over again from teaching students that family and friends have been the problem. So we've got to look at this as this might be you that I'm speaking to, and you're like, yeah, what's the deal? Well, I'll tell you what the deal is. But also, we've got to realize that we are also the friend or the family member for that person. So split your mind into 2 right now and think about if this resonates with you and how you could maybe help a friend or a family member by taking on some of this information and applying it, by being a cheerleader for your friends and family. No matter what they do, no matter if you don't understand it or it's not quite your thing, you can still cheerlead your friends and family along their journey on their path. So 3 quick reasons why your friends and family might not be helping you on your path to quitting something or moving forward or wanting to move or losing weight or a million other examples that I want you to tell me down below in the comments so we can share this together and learn from each other. Number 1, they don't want you to. Now, love has got nothing to do with this. Friends and family love each other unconditionally, hopefully. And that's always the underlying thing. So we're not talking about love right now. We're talking about something else. When you're trying to do something, sometimes people don't want you to do it because it triggers them for not doing something themselves. Maybe they're not ready to quit smoking. Maybe they're not ready to do their dream job. Maybe they're not ready to see you being successful because maybe they're not as successful as they want to be. Maybe if you're quite big and they're quite big and you suddenly want to get really small to be PC as possible, that's going to affect them. That's going to trigger them. Why? That's going to make them feel bad for not doing it. There's a number of different ways we could talk about this stuff, but ultimately speaking, this comes up so much when teaching that I just had to share this with you because I want to know what you think and I want to know if you understand and this resonates with you. This happens all the time. So what we have to do is we have to be aware of this and just know that if we're not getting the response from our family and friends, maybe you call them on the phone. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, really good. And they just talk about themselves and they don't ask you about what you're doing. It can feel saddening and like, why don't they just ask me? But maybe they don't ask you because they don't understand what you do. They don't understand how to respond. So number 2 is our friends and family are sometimes the last people we want to say, hey, look at this thing I've done. What do you think? Because they don't understand our world. They don't understand what you're doing. And they feel put on the spot to have a loving response when they really don't understand who you are, what you're trying to do, and they might skirt around the conversation and bring it back to them. When we know this, when we know that they might not necessarily have the capabilities to appreciate and cheerlead you in that sense, we can do a real cool little trick. And the trick I like to do is just put all the attention on them. Ask them how they are. Get them to talk about themselves and really go in and put all the attention on them and don't expect anything in return. Now, if they're really good people and they, have any kind of level of consciousness at all and awareness, they will eventually ask you how you are. That's always nice. It's kind of a two-way street. But if they don't, they don't. And through this process, you see who your friends are. You see who the good ones, who are the ones where you actually have a conversation back and forth and genuinely care to ask how work's going, even though you don't really care what their job is and what they do. You do it because they're your friend or your family. And we really get to know who our true friends are through this process. So give, and don't expect anything in return. Okay, number 3 is, well, I kind of covered it already with the triggering, but I want to go deeper. When you're vibing at a real high frequency of love and gratitude and joy for doing what you love to do, and you're in this kind of zone and you're in your peak state and you're just loving life, the most annoying thing for someone that's not having a good time, who isn't living their truth, their purpose, their dream job, is seeing someone like me or you loving life. And to go one further, the worst thing for them is for that person, for them to start talking about it or trying to share that love, or try and encourage someone else to kind of uplift and find those higher levels of consciousness within themselves so they too can enjoy life. That's the last thing they want to hear. And what happens is, when you're burning bright, so to speak, we become a repellent for people who are struggling and suffering on any level. You know, the people who gossip, the people who judge, the people who are constantly going, oh, look at them. Those people. Are you one of those people? Be honest. You can be honest right now, because no one will know either way. If you're a judgy, you know, that kind of pointing finger person, then I'm speaking to you. And I used to be one of those people. That's the environment I grew up in, around at school. I was that person. I was always, oh, look at them. I'd talk about all the things that I was going to do, but never actually did anything. I was that person. And I totally get that. And I understand that when you see those people that are winning at life or doing what they want to do and they're happy, you go, oh, look at them. And, you know, it was, and, you know, it does nothing for you but make life worse. It's like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It really is. So start to love yourself, start to honor yourself, and start to make a change within yourself. Just stop pointing those fingers and start embracing yourself. And then come back to this video when you've done it. Okay, be your own cheerleader. This is how we do it. We get a little book, make sure it's little, and write on the cover my amazing achievements. Write down in this book, big or small, and date it too, everything that you've achieved in line with what it is that you're trying to do with it, whether you're healing, whether you're building a business, whether you're doing anything. Write down every goal, every big or small goal, every big or small win that you've made. And as you do it, just acknowledge it. Just acknowledge what you're doing. Because at the end of the day, my friend, you're on your own. You're on your own on your vision, because nobody is going to love that vision more than you. If it's quitting smoking, nobody wants you to quit smoking more than you. And whether it's quitting something or creating something massive, you have to be that drive. You have to be the one that lights that fire every morning. You need to be the person that connects to that big why as to why you're doing it. You need to be the one that gets up when you fall down. You need to sing a song when you mess up the word. You need to just keep going. You need to be the one that breaks through no matter what. You need to be the one who has the vision and has the drive and the momentum and the constant thirst for success and blah, 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 blah. You need all of that stuff. And you can't buy it. You can't pass it on. You can't delegate it. You need to be the one that continuously is the word, that's how you say it, continuously keep moving, no matter what, and become your own cheerleader. Have a little book, having these small wins in front of you, going, oh yeah, I did that, oh yeah, I did that too, oh yeah, no, I did that, okay, I can do it, yeah. Just even that will make you continue to be a success. And no matter how big or small your mission is, you have to be there cheerleading yourself all the way through. So you can get a book, you can create an amazing achievements wall, start sticking every nice thing that someone said about you. If you get messages regularly that people say nice things, put them on that wall, write them up. Put everything on there that reminds you. We want to constantly remind ourselves in the best way for us to believe in ourselves, because sometimes people won't be believing in you, and sometimes people will want you to fail. And sometimes there'll be a combination of that. And sometimes people just won't care either way. You know, they say, if you want 1 million people to love you, you got to be aware that 1 million people will hate you. I like to think of it slightly different. If you want 1 million people to love you, I think it's more realistic to think 1/3 of those people will love you. 1/3 of those people will hate you. And 1/3 of those people just won't care either way. Who? Who's the, I don't know, I don't care. You know, that's how, and then just replicate that process, and then you'll get to your 1 million people if that's what you want. But this is how we have to go through life. We can't think that everybody's gonna love it, and we can't get down if we think nobody likes it, whatever it is, or nobody's supporting me. We need to just become strong like a lion, and we need to take no BS, and we need to just get on the horse and continuously crack on with what it is that we're wanting to achieve. And if you're a lazy type like I used to be, you got one life. You got one life. Oh my God, you got one life. Just stop messing around. Stop spending hours doing stuff that isn't productive. Stop wasting time. Stop wasting time. Unless it's serving you in a way to kind of relax, I'll let that slide. But if you're wasting time and you're pouring all that amazing, beautiful energy of yours into something that isn't bringing you anything, then you are wasting this beautiful, amazing life of yours on doing mediocre stuff. You could be doing all sorts of things, and to create something, it's difficult and it's hard and it takes discipline and momentum and drive and all the rest of it. But you can do it. And sometimes you might just be on your own doing it. But when you do it, and when you conquer something and you level up and you look back and go, wow, I can't believe I did that, then you'll feel so awesome that your whole life will change. I used to be a lazy person saying, I'm gonna do all this, I'm gonna do all that. And yeah, I did some stuff, but I never did half of this and half of that. And years went on, and I spent my time just talking to other people with small dreams and pointing at other people. And then I woke up through a whole bunch of different steps, but I woke up and realized, wow, what a waste of life. And I started making changes, and I failed 1,000 times doing lots of different things. And just the fact that I know that I've evolved from being a lazy person that's all talk to someone that does stuff and creates things and constantly puts out output, that makes me feel really good about myself. And I know it makes you feel good too. And I just want this video to be a reminder that when it's really, really difficult and it's seemingly just not possible, just keep going strong. And if nobody's cheerleading you, I'm cheerleading you. You can do it. I don't know why I'm pointing up. I was meant to be pointing at you. You can do it. No, this hand's better. You can do it. I know you can. So look, you're not alone. There's so much support out there. There's support groups for entrepreneurs, for people building businesses, for people trying to create anything from like a hobby or anything. There's support out there. And if you just look, then you'll realize that you're not alone. There's loads of like groups. I've got a Facebook group called Be Your Own Guru. Join my Facebook group and share stuff, and we'll talk. And just know that you're not alone. And the more you commit to this, whatever it is that you're doing, and the more you reach out and see if other people can help you and you can vibe off their journey, leave a comment down below and share a journey of success or cheerleading yourself through something where you didn't have that support, so other people can read it and go, oh yeah, you know. That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do, is to support each other through hard times and the good times and all of the times. We are essentially all one. We're all a big ball of consciousness, and we're all here to help each other. We just have to reach out when we need it. So no matter whatever it is that you're trying to do, look for the people that have done it before you and read about them. Read biographies of people that have done those things. If it's something smaller, then just see where people have done that in life and just learn from those people and see where you can get any tips, and just move into it. Just lean into it. Whatever it is, lean all the way in. So I'm going to end on this. Be your own cheerleader. All you ever need is your own approval. That's all you ever need. And to get your own approval is just self-love. Just love yourself for the journey that you're on. Love yourself for everything that you've been through. Love yourself for where you are in life right now. No matter where you are in life right now, whether you're where you want to be or close to where you want to be or not anywhere near where you want to be, love yourself for being here right now, watching this. Watching this is an act of self-care. You're doing incredible if you're watching this video, because you're trying to better yourself. You're trying to tune in and tap out from all the illusions and the BS of life. So congratulate yourself and be the first person to approve of yourself. Say, I approve of myself. I am exactly where I need to be. I am strong, I am confident, I am proud. And any other affirmations that make you feel good. So if it's the daytime, go and have the most amazing version of a day that you can possibly have, and do yourself proud and recognize your progress and write it down and put it on the walls and read it often and repeat it in your mind, and be happy and be smiley and do all of the things that you can do in a day that make you feel good. And if it's your evening, then go to bed with a smile on your face and repeat all this in your mind, and go to sleep knowing that you've done some good. No matter how big or small, you're on your path, you're living your purpose, and you're working towards a better future, so your future self can have a better time and look back on your past self and go, nice one, past self, you really did me a solid there, I'm really proud of you. So talk to your future self, thank you future self, and thank you past self, and love you present self right here or right now. Peace, I'll see you on the next one.